This episode has been sponsored in part by our friends at Veeam. Are you tired of juggling the cost of AWS backups and recovery with your SLAs? Quit the circus act and check out Veeam. Their AWS backup and recovery solution is made to save you money, not that that's the primary goal, mind you, while also protecting your data properly. They're letting you protect 10 instances for free with no time limits, so test it out now. You can even find them on the AWS Marketplace at snark.cloud/backitup. Wait, did I just endorse something on the AWS Marketplace? Wonder of wonders, I did. Look, you don't care about backups, you care about restores. And despite the fact that multi-cloud's a dumb strategy, it's also a realistic reality. So make sure that you're backing up data from everywhere with a single unified point of view. Check them out at snark.cloud/backitup.
Hey folks, I am Jam Leomi here to chime in with all the hot AWS tea from last week, while Corey is enjoying some new kiddo time. Currently, I'm the head coach of security over at Honeycomb, but I've been at all the fantastic companies, usually starting with a G. Outside of work, I try to stay sane, bake things, and make pens. If you want to follow more of what I do, my random mixed bag of content can be found at jamfish728 on Twitter, and I write at blog.jam.fish. Now with that all out of the way, let's see what happened last week in AWS. First up, in the works, AWS region in Hyderabad, India. Finally, we're getting the expansion announcement that is a big deal. Enough where Corey messaged me in the wee hours of the morning to make sure that I put it in. All that aside, this is a huge deal for the Indian Tech Hub, and I feel like this is finally allowing them to get their due. Amazon API Gateway now supports disabling the default REST API endpoint. Congratulations! You can now up your security by obscurity game by shutting down the default endpoint for your Amazon API endpoint. Let freedom from low-level bug bounty reports reign. Amazon Kendra achieves HIPAA eligibility. For the AWS fan person in your life, you said no because compliance to that one time. The intelligence-powered search service is now available to index and make all your service compliance dreams come true. Amazon SES now offers list and subscription management capabilities. I bring this up because, like all companies, you may have a marketing team that needs that email management boost, and this could make it easier on them. Value your non-engineer teams, folks. Application Load Balancers enables gRPC workloads with end-to-end HTTP2 support. HTTP2 is a protocol I really appreciate, and it's good to see that its ability has been expanded to gRPC. Now, if only more companies could ensure client connections made use of it. Announcing AWS private link support for Amazon Bracket. Now you don't have to share or manage your loud bracket on the public internet. Yay! But seriously though, private connections to VPCs is pretty clutch and a way to pipe down on compliance worries. AWS Client VPN announces self-service portal to download VPN profiles and desktop applications. Did anybody else realize AWS had VPN? Because I didn't. Today I learned though. In any case, if you are in the know, AWS is making client onboarding even easier. AWS Security Hub adds 5 new integrations and a new consulting partner. There's a new list of integrations, including my favorite, Prowler, to everyone's soon-to-be favorite AWS security tool. That being said, while I appreciate AWS giving us a buffet of integrations slapped on a haystack of a product nest, I think I'll take my AWS security a la carte. Choosing the right DNS architecture for VMware Cloud on AWS. This primer on DNS with AWS and VMware should prove useful because somewhere out there is a person clinging onto VMware being better than containers in the Kubernetes and yells at me to get off their lawn. Onboarding and managing agents in a SaaS solution using AWS IoT Core. This caught my eye as IoT is a thing, and trying to manage agents in a SaaS solution sounded pretty dope. I mean, with IoT kind of being a security trash fire, unlike 2020 levels, why not give it a sword and shield to defend itself against level 8, aka user vulnerabilities? Field notes. How to identify and block fake crawler bots using AWS WAF. Did I click on this because bot detection is fun and could have applications beyond crawler bots? Yes. Will this be useful to the bottom line of my AWS bill to try it out? Depends on your threat model and your funding round. It's a fun article, though, if you use AWS web application firewalls and are trying to get fine-tuned when it comes to sharing your non-paywalled content. Handling data erasure requests in your data lake with Amazon S3 Find and Forget. I found this one interesting, as beyond legal laws, there really isn't a good strategy around S3 or storage when it comes to servicing erasure requests. Though this talks about one specific use case, if you already don't have one, this might be something to look into if you're figuring out your CCPA and GDPR solutions, or improving them after an audit.
This episode is sponsored in part by Chaos Search. Now their name isn't in all caps, so they're definitely worth talking to. What is Chaos Search? A scalable log analysis service that lets you add new workloads in minutes, not days or weeks. Click, boom, done. Chaos Search is for you if you're trying to get a handle on processing multiple terabytes or more of log and event data per day at a disruptive price. One more thing for those of you who've been down this path to disappointment before, Chaos Search is a fully managed solution that isn't playing marketing games when they say fully managed. The data lives within your S3 buckets, and that's really all you have to care about. No managing of servers, but also no data movement. Check them out at chaossearch.io and tell them Corey sent you. Watch for the wince when you say my name. That's chaossearch.io.
Create a pipeline with Canary deployments for Amazon EKS with AWS AppMesh. My first of two juicy kube cuts. We have pipeline foo with Amazon. Though this is a great example of Canary deployments, where's the security background on this, Amazon? Is there a part 2? Windows authentication on Amazon EKS Windows Pods. In the next and final addition to Juicy Kube Cuts, we have learning how to set up Windows Auth on EKS, which apparently is new, but long awaited. So cheers, Windows Server users. You made it into the Kubernetes ecosystem and now have to suffer like the rest of us. Performing major version upgrades for Amazon Aurora MySQL with minimum downtime. This is for my ops/DBA folks. It involves using blue-green deployments on backend services, which, while at first blew my mind, kind of reminded me of a replication DB swap, except with more resiliency. Still, though, I think it's pretty cool and would help a lot of folk. Running Hyperledger Explorer on Amazon Managed Blockchain. Gonna be honest, only included this one because it's blockchain and all the cool kids love them some cryptocurrency technobabble. So have at it. Moving on, automating deployments to Raspberry Pi devices using AWS Code Pipeline. While doing things with Raspberry Pis doesn't seem enterprise-worthy, as King Boomy says, you gotta open your brain to the possibilities. Especially being stuck at home, why not tinker with some home automation? Creating an intelligent ticket routing solution using Slack, Amazon AppFlow, and Amazon Comprehend. Another example and a how-to that you could potentially expand on. Always great to have more applications to automating tasks while slacking. Introducing the COVID-19 Simulator and Machine Learning Toolkit for predicting COVID-19 spread. Now, I don't know how many biomedical data scientists are subscribed, but if you have the energy, this might be something to take a gander at. For others, this is still a cool development that I hope can be of some use. Building the future of robots development with ROS 2. Because even dirty computers need open source software to run the world. And if you didn't catch that, yes, it was a Janelle Monáe reference. Distributed tracing with open telemetry. I love how this article is spreading the concept of open telemetry to a new audience and helping folks still wrapping their head around it. That being said, ending is a little sus. Building tech skills and jobs in America's rural communities. In order for technology to move forward, we need to think about how we can make sure that everyone is included at the table. One of those groups are rural communities. The article reflects that, but I hope we can also include more of their voices and reasoning in further conversations. How to implement passwordless authentication with Amazon Cognito and WebAuthn. Stop trying to make Cognito happen. It's not going to happen. The fact that you have to jump security, ops, and developer hoops to configure Cognito defeats its point in ease of use. And this is, in fact, even before adding WebAuthn, which by itself is pretty cool, and also because it's a duo, so of course it's rad AF. In our last choice cut, we're reviewing security essentials in episode 4 of AWS Power Hour Cloud Practitioner. In that episode, check out the latest and essential AWS certifications that still won't match up to having CISSP on your resume. And that's it, folks. This has been the AWS Morning Brief. I would like to thank Corey and the crew for allowing me to take some of your time today. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did. If you did, like, subscribe, do the things. And again, this has been AWS Morning Brief. See you later.
This has been a Humble Pod production. Stay humble.